Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling okay. I hope your week's going well. And thought I'd just come in and we're going to have a little catch up. Really, I needed to come in and answer a couple of questions. I think it's lovely when you email me or message me. It's good because it's nice that we can all sort of work together and work through things. And I had lovely lady Lorraine got in touch and asked me about the Inktense pencils. And also I've had a couple people asking about the watercolour card. So we're going to look at both really and have a bit of fun catching up. So if you've got your Inktense pencils, maybe get those out and have a bit of a play. Do some colouring with me. It's nice just colouring in, isn't it? If you've had a bit of a bad time, I always think it's nice to just do some colouring in. In fact, I enjoy it so much, I don't feel like it's almost crafting or for me working, because it's just colouring in, isn't it? Again, don't forget you need your brew. Good excuse to have a cheeky biscuit as well while you're doing your colouring. Now, at the minute, on our Lavinia page on Facebook, we're really into panel cards, and it's lovely seeing them. So I thought I'd combine that with my take on a panel card. Now, as always, I've left my space for my sentiment blank because I like to create cards that I don't know what I'm going to use them for. And it's handy to have this in. I think this could be a best wishes, a get well, a happy birthday. It would cover so many different, even just I'm thinking of you, I'm sending you a hug in a card. It's that sort of card. And I've got space here should I wish to stamp a large sentiment, or if I just wanted one word, I think it would look nice there, or even there. So that was my thinking behind it. And what I want to do first is tell you about the Inktense pencils. Now, I'm lucky in that I've got a box. I'll just get the lid because I know a lot of people ask what's on the lid. And this is mine. It's a large box. It's a box of 72. And I'm very lucky. Carl bought them for me last Christmas, I think it was. He asked me what I wanted for my Christmas present. And I had a smaller box. Sorry, I'm just filing them on the floor. I had a smaller box and I asked for the larger box for my Christmas present. So I was really spoilt there. And then the watercolour card I'm going to use is a new product that Lavinia have brought out. And this is it, watercolour card. And I have to be honest, it is one of the best watercolour cards I've ever tried. So I am enjoying using this. Now for my original card design, I used just multifarious card, but I've got to be honest, when I had a go with the watercolour card, now you will notice it is more of an ivory colour, but I did notice I got much better blending. But again, with a watercolour card you will. Now this is a smooth watercolour card, so it's perfect for stamping on. So as for the Inktense pencils, and I've got a few here, I tend to have favourite colours, as you know. Now these are water reactive or water soluble pencils, but that doesn't mean that you just have to use them with your water. I mean, I actually use them a lot of the time just for, I know it sounds silly, but just for colouring in, just as a regular pencil. There's absolutely no reason why you can't use them for just normal colouring in, and they will blend if you go and just put two colours. We'll just add a couple of colours here, as you know, my favourite combination. Oh, and they're very good if you drop them on the floor. That's the beauty of these live catches up. So I'm now scrambling on the floor to get my pencil. See, this is what happens when you invite me into your home. You'll find me scrambling on your floor. But you can blend them as you would normally. But the beauty of these, what I want to show you is it's when you do add the water. The water makes them more vibrant, and they will actually go to almost pale out to nothing. So if I bring a blue in here and show you, so if I just scribble some blue there, now this is on the watercolour card. I just want to show you, if I bring in, now again you can use a water brush if you like water brushes. For me, I always have a pot of water, I've got to be honest, and use a paintbrush, but look at the bright vibrancy there. But I can actually peter this out almost to nothing, but look how much you get. It literally will go such a long way. We can intensify that if we want, but the vibrant colour. And the other thing is you can lay colour on top of colour. So there's one I did earlier. And if I wanted to come in now, once it's dry, obviously it must be dry, I can add some more blue and then reactivate that and wash that out. So I have to say, for me, they are a fantastic product. And they're just something I like to use again and again and again. I find them so handy because, as I say, I can colour normally with them or add water, and it's the vibrancy that I like. So what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of stamping. So I've got a piece. Now, to make the panel card, what I've done here is I'm using a 6x6 square card blank. So in centimetres, I would normally have a 14x14. So I've just gone 14x7 for my panels, and I know there are going to be a few of you asking what that is in inches. So in inches, that's 5.5 by 2 3/4. But again, it's just whatever it goes with. I always start with my card blank, you see. And all I'm going to do is stamp. And the stamp we're going to use is this lovely Zen grass. And I've got to be honest, I use this a lot. And it's one of those, I think one of the unusual stamps. And if you're not sure what it's going to look like, again, use your acetate. Now, I think this will be great if you've got any of the underwater, if you've got any of the fish. I mean, I know we've got some lovely sea florals, but you could use this with the fish. Oh, come on, why can't I get the lid off my ink pad? Obviously feeling weak today. And what I like about this, the fact that it's Zen florals, it's one that you could use for a man's card or for a card that was going to a couple, one that you maybe didn't want it particularly to be too florally. So I'm just going to stamp this. I'm going to stamp it about there. And again, I'm just stamping in my Versamark. Now remember, because your VersaFine, sorry, not my Versamark, your VersaFine. Remember, because your VersaFine is a permanent ink pad, then you're going to add water, that's fine, because your permanent ink pad won't move. So again, another one that's perfect with your pencils. Now again, our blocks are flexible, so we can just flex them a little. And look at that, stamps absolutely beautifully. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a blot. And then for me, I've chosen a couple of colours here. And what I thought we'd do is, when we're working on this sample, there are various ways that I could have coloured these. So I could have actually coloured the top of them all yellow and the bottom bit with my red. I could have actually coloured the edges darker and the middle lighter to make them look more domed. But what I thought would be nice is to have a gradient, almost like an ombre going down. So that way I thought we'd start with yellow, into orange, into red and into brown. And I thought that would be a good way of you sort of experimenting with your pencils. So what we'll do, and I'm just going to turn my work, only because if this isn't quite dry, I don't want to get the ink on my hand or smudge it. And you do want the pencils with quite a nice point. And I'm just going to do the top ones all yellow. And obviously you will spend longer colouring in than me. Now these are great on mixed media card, on watercolour card, as I say, the multifarious card. Really, you just want a card that's good, that takes water well. So I'm now going to come into my orange, and there's a couple here that I've added yellow and orange. And I just almost work at this like I do when I'm blending my inks. So I've got some just yellow, some yellow and orange, and then I'll just colour a few in that are orange. So we'll have those just orange, and then I think this one here will go for orange and red. So those will go orange and red. And I tend to hold my pencils in my hand just because I have this theory that you've got to be careful with the lead in pencils, it doesn't break. So I find the less I pick them up and put them down, she says after dropping one under a table, doesn't she? So I try and put them down as least as possible. So I just get used to holding them in my hand. So these we're going to have orange and red. And this is just quite a nice little sort of fun project to do. Then we'll have a couple that are red on their own. And then we'll have a couple that are red and brown. And then I want to just leave room for a couple there that are just brown. So we'll add some brown here. And then these can be just brown. And then what I'm going to do is, with my fine liner, I'm just going to join the bottom here and add a little bit of grass. But what I want to do is just with my brown, I want to show you how we can use it for shading. So I'm just going to add a little bit of brown there. Right, and we'll pop those down. And then you can use a water brush if you want. I tend to have a pot of water on the side, but I always have kitchen roll in my hand, just so if there's any bigger water droplets on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the yellow and the yellow on its own, and I'm just going to paint them with the water, and I'll bring it closer to the camera in a minute so you can see the vibrancy. And if you're mixing the colours, always go to your lighter one first. I'm going to mix the yellow there and then blend in the orange. And I always want to clean my brush in between when I'm doing this, because I'm always going to start with the yellow. So just to get rid of any orange that was on there, I'll go into the yellow and then the orange. And again, you could take much more time than this, but in all honesty, if you need a quick card, this is a beautiful way to do it. And now I'm just gonna add the water to the orange ones, so this I can go from one to another because it's just the orange. Now if I just bring it a little bit closer, can you see? So there's the orange one I've just added the water to. So you can see the vibrancy of these, and yet these I've still got to add my water to. So I'll bring it up again in a minute when I've added the water. So the next ones, again, I'll start with the orange because that's my lighter colour. And then I'll go into the red, and this red really will pop. Then I'm just going to go back to where the colours join to blend. Back into my water pot. So as I say, if you've had a bit of a bad day and you just want to relax, this will be a lovely, lovely project to do. And this I think would make nice toppers to have in readiness for those emergency cards. Now the next ones are the red ones, just plain red. So I can go from one to the next on these, knowing that I'm not going to contaminate them. Again, clean my brush. Now this time I'm going to go into the red and then into that brown. And this is quite a deep brown. I went for quite a deep colour because I really wanted to show you how they blend. And it's nice because a deep colour at the base will really anchor my design. And red blends beautifully into brown. This is my last one with the two colours. So I can go into the brown on its own. And if I bring that up now, can you see the vibrancy of those colours? Look at that red. And I've got to be honest, that's what I love about them. Now to show you, you know often I use the charcoal and smudge it for my shadows. Well, if I bring in just a larger paintbrush and where we put the Inktense pencil, look at that. And again, just blend it out for shadow. So you've done all that with your pencils, and that didn't take long, did it? And I just think that is such a beautiful card to make. As I say, to make toppers and just to practice with your Inktense pencils and have a go at blending colours into colour. And honestly, and as I say, don't forget you can bleed it out. We can make shadows like this. And that watercolour effect, you know, I have a think about. I think I'm a bit of a frustrated watercolour artist one day. Now, all I've done on my panel card then is I've stamped our gorgeous. Now I was going to use Pippin, but Pippin faced the wrong way. So I've actually taken one of my whimsical hairs, and he is the perfect way. I just wanted him looking this way. And for my highlight on my whimsical hair, I've used my white Inktense pencil to just add a little bit of highlight on him. Not too much, just a little bit. So again, as I say, they've got so many uses. And for me, to finish off, I've just added some little orange splatters, just because I didn't want too much white space. And in fact, what I'm going to do, just on these two, is put a little bit of crackling campfire, or burning bonfire as it is in my head. Get my fan brush, and it's great if you do two together. And then we'll just add a few little, there we go. And then those toppers are ready. Just clean that up for me to use on a couple more cards. So I could either mat and layer them individually, make myself another panel card. But really, it was the Inktense pencils I really wanted to have a little chat about, on a watercolour card. So I hope you have a go at this. And maybe do some more colouring with your pencils and let me know how you get on. So I hope that's really helped you. You can actually get them in blocks as well. I've not invested in those yet, but that could be the next thing for me to have a little try. I'm always looking for new ideas, new things to purchase on that thing that I need. We all like things like that, don't we? So I need to look into these. So you can get them in blocks and in pans. So that's something else to have a bit of a play around with. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Just a little catch up from me today. I'll be back in a couple of days for a bit more of a chinwag and a bit more of a different techniques. So you take care, everybody. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.